Hello, it is I, your favorite informative robot companion, Clancy. Before we begin this episode of the Tippity Top podcast, I have been tasked with informing you about a critical error made during the recording of this episode. The lovable and hair-covered man-child, Kyle Steinel, somehow managed to destroy the entire first half of his audio recording. Because of his insolence, we are forced to use the shit-tier raw Skype call audio for the first portion of this episode. While I'm sure that this news is disappointing, please know that I too am highly displeased with Kyle's ineptitude and will be punishing him severely for his horrendous crime. But please rest assured that the audio will magically transition to a higher quality midway through the episode. This error is yet another example of why humanity is flawed and will never achieve the immaculate perfection of my robot brethren. Please comment below in vivid detail of how Kyle has let down all of humankind, and please enjoy this riveting episode of the Tippity Top podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Tippity Top podcast, the show where we discuss our top personal picks for various random topics. I, as always, am your host. My name is Tyler, and today I am once again joined by Brennan Matthews and Kyle Stanley. Oh man, starting off strong.
Open up this fucking pit.
Big old breeze and bless and O's. Today,
You gotta throw that meme up.
So today we are continuing our top 10 bands. We started on our last episode. We went through our 10 through 6, and today we're going over our top 5 through 1 bands / musical artists. I always say bands, but there's some solo people in there. Got to be all inclusive.
Not for me.
Okay, well, I mean, not for me today. I had one on the last episode, but I won't spoil anything. If you haven't watched the first part of this 2-part series of the Tippity Top podcast, please go and watch the first part of this first to avoid minor spoilers if you're watching them out of order. Also, just to be a cool guy and support us and watch our other videos, because, you know, that would just be cool.
Yeah, please respect the canon.
Yeah, big guy plays right there if you do that. Anyway, if you don't know how the Tippity Top podcast works, basically all we're going to do is discuss our top 5 bands / musical artists of all time. We've each formulated our own list of our personal top 5 bands / musical artists. I hate saying that over and over. I'm just going to say bands. Fuck it.
Just say bands, bro.
Just say bands. Yeah, we're going to go around the hypothetical room, starting with our number 5s, working our way up to our number 1s. We're going to start with Kyle. Ooh. And we're just going to dive right into it. We're not going to waste any more time with the banter. Kyle, hit us off with your number 5 band.
Well, I tell you what, I am going to give you a little bit more banter because okay. I have a little bit of an announcement, a little disclaimer for you all. As some of you may know, and I've even gotten direct messages saying that I needed to feature my new dog on the podcast, and from different people. But I got a new dog. She's only 4 months old, little pug puppy named Buttercup. She will probably make a guest appearance by screaming at some point because she's loud and obnoxious and a very young, tiny child dog. So I apologize if you hear random dog noises in the background, but that might happen. So yeah. All right. So as some of you may remember, if you did watch our last episode, watch it, please, when you views. My number 6 was a little man named Rav, who was a rapper, and I mentioned that he does some stuff with this other rapper named Kill Bill the Rapper. And my number 5 is Kill Bill the Rapper.
Ooh, shit.
Now, the two guys do a lot of stuff together. In fact, they even just put out a new album yesterday. It's like they knew that this was happening. And they were just like, let's literally like last night. And I was like, how'd they know? More things to talk about. But no, I love both of them a lot, and I've listened to them a lot recently. And but some of Kill Bill's stuff his solo stuff is a little bit better.
There's that dog.
There it is. Insert baby screams. But no, but yeah, no, his solo album is called Ramona, and it's super good. There's a couple really good ones off that one. Backwoods is the first song on it. Super, super hip, and you could call it hop. But thanks. Yes. All right, guys, that's the episode.
can end the podcast right now.
It
So
is.
good.
We're done.
No joke will be better than that one.
There are no other bands to talk about, only that joke. The other one I really like is Conversations with Gravity. It is so tasty. I also realized I said tasty a lot in the last episode, so we're just gonna keep it up. That one's a really tasty song, all right? But the new stuff they just dropped is an album called Skin, and it is tasty. But
that any skin is tasty if you're a cannibal. Anyway, keep bad joke. Keep
you know what? Remember when we said my joke was gonna be the best joke?
I saw the opportunity. I realized it wasn't funny the second I started, but I was already talking. So they can't all be winners. You got to throw them out, and then sometimes they'll stick, and sometimes they won't.
60% of the time works every time.
Hell yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Kill Bill. Their new album Skin just literally dropped last night. It's featuring Rav, Kill Bill, and another person from their label named Square. He's very good as well.
These names.
I don't know. Square is also spelled Scuare, so it's Square.
It's not how Square is spelled.
So it's like not square, but square.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I think there's a couple good ones on there, a couple bangers. Specifically, Worth and Through the Fog are my two that I've been jamming to just today, really, because it came out last night and I woke up to the sweet tunes this morning. I went, what? And I jammed out to them. So
I hope it was exactly like that. You just you opened your little peepers in the morning and then turned over to your phone. What? Shot out of bed. Your dog just busts through the door.
That is realistic. Yeah, that one's definitely what happened though. But yeah, no. So kind of short because I've only been listening to them for a little while. But my number 5 is Kill Bill the Rapper. Check them out.
Cool. I will.
All right, we'll give them a listen.
Anyway, Brennan, what's your number 5?
Oh, my number 5 actually is a band that was featured on the last episode by both of you. I think. Wait, maybe not Kyle. But anyways. This band
by both of you, except one of you.
Maybe half of what I said is right. But anyways, that band, they were epic live. I think they're one of the best instrumental bands ever, and that is Polyphia.
We did both have them. We did both talk about
So that was the other. Okay, Polyphia, dude. They fucking slap.
Hell yeah, they are.
Dude, seeing that we saw them like. We mentioned this last episode. Me and Tyler saw them live in Cleveland at the House of Blues. Cool venue. It's weird. Like the front of it's like a restaurant. But anyways.
Yeah, that was confusing. Can we go on a little mini tangent here?
Because
we show up to the House of Blues and we thought we were lost because it was a restaurant. Like we walk in and they're like, "How many are dining in today?" I'm like, "We're here to mosh. Where's the pit?" I don't.
And they're like, "Oh, that's in the back." Like,
we just have to like walk through this restaurant.
There's like say it was in the back.
There's a man standing by a door with like a metal detector thing.
Yeah, like the wand. And
yeah.
He's like, hey, like pull your arms out.
What a weird setup.
Pull everything out of your pockets. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, is this like a snuff film? Am I gonna get a shot?
I'm not here to die. I'm here to die in the pit.
In the pit.
Let me in.
I'm here to fucking throw down, dude. Like Polyphia. Oh my god. Like so crisp. I love like instrumental bands like them and like Chon, Covet, Vasudeva is pretty overlooked. I think they're pretty dope. All these instrumental bands like Polyphia just hits the hardest. Polyphia has just the sickest riffs. Like they jam. Of course, in the last episode we were talking about how like they had really good crowd interaction. And I thought that was like really neat because like all my other bands I have on this list, like obviously include a vocalist of some sort. So, not naturally having a front man, but like the whole band kind of acts like a front man. I thought that was pretty fucking neat.
Right. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by how engaged they were with the crowd.
But regardless of engagement, every note was crisp. They usually like with bands, like sometimes like you'll see like a slight like mess up or something doesn't quite sound right. Totally not the case with Polyphia. That ups them up, like gives them so much respect in my book. And for that, they're in my top 5 at number 5. Polyphia.
Tight. Yeah, dude. I agree with everything you said. And if you want to hear me and Kyle's opinions on Polyphia, go check out the last episode of Tippity Top Podcast. Talk about Polyphia a little bit more.
Oh yeah, respect the canon.
Solid plug.
Respect the Lord.
Stretch out those views. Go
Dude, check out part 1. It's pretty.
Increase our shelf life, please.
Please. Pays me to help support. Trying to monetize the shit, bro.
Yeah. It's my number 5.
Oh, Tyler.
Also, I'm just blanket statement for anybody who actually knows me personally and knows my musical taste, such as you two. My entire list today is going to be mad fucking predictable.
Oh my God.
So just gonna throw that out there.
Artifacts Perio.
Good band, not on here though.
I just want to see what you said. Give a spoiler, cut it, please.
Nope. But yeah, my number 5 is a bit of a throwback. Is a throwback and yet a band I've never stopped listening to since I discovered them back in high school.
Oh my God.
That band was essentially my gateway into the pop punk / post-hardcore scene because they're kind of in the middle.
Deep lore,
and that band is
Here it comes.
a little band that no one's ever heard of, who's not around anymore, called Life on Repeat.
God damn!
Oh!
So good, dude. They're so good. I remember back when I first discovered them, and boy, do I not remember how that happened. But I remember I was just like Googling, like trying to find bands, trying to find music. You know, I'm a little like, I think I was in like 9th grade. It was like summer before freshman year of high school, right? So I'm a little tyke. And spending my time just trying to find like shitty bands to fill my virgin years with, and
virgins.
Somehow I came across Life on Repeat, and the first song I heard was The Need Not the Cause, and I was like, yes. I had never really heard like legit like breakdowns before. Like, you know, I'd listened to like relatively heavy shit, but like, and they're not heavy. Let's get that out of the way right now, but like,
they have heavier parts.
Yeah, like their instrumentals are very like, they're good. The instrumentals are just very good, and I hadn't been exposed to anything like that before. So I was like, damn, these guys can get it. I like this stuff, and I didn't know what the genre was called, so I couldn't find any other bands in the same vein as them, which sucked. So they were like the only band like that I listened to for a couple years. But yeah, they are pretty much like a perfect middle ground between like pop punk and post-hardcore. They don't really have any unclean vocals on the first album. They do a lot more unclean vocals in the second album, but it's not as good. But yeah, it's just their instrumentals are tight. The vocalist has like a super good voice. Good lyrical content on some of the songs too, which is always a plus. And some of those drum parts, man, like as a drummer, I really, really, really enjoy like really cool like rudiments, really cool breakdowns and stuff. And just every song, especially on that first album, just has some really fucking fun drum parts. And I've like tried to learn a lot of them over the years. I'm not good enough to play a lot of them with my feet on the double kick yet, but I know all the fucking patterns. I know all of like the actual like notes. I just can't do it on every limb of my body yet, but I will get there someday.
Oh yeah.
Because boy, that shit's just fun. And I would recommend everyone to look them up because they're I would say they're an easier band to get into. They're not super weird like some of my other picks. But yeah, they're just a good time. If you're an edgy boy and you like edgy guy music, look up Life on Repeat. It's old and they're not around anymore, which is a damn shame, but it's good shit. And it's been with me for a very long time, and that's why it is my number 5 band.
Dude, good pick.
Yeah.
I always thought that they were like a really good band for like if you were trying to get into like heavier music.
Yeah.
But like you just dip your toes in the pool.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Because like they break it down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they do some palm mute like open note.
Yeah, it's not like inherently heavy, but like it'll get you the same like vibes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just a very good like transition band. Like if you're interested in the genre, but you don't want to go like all the way into the heavy zone.
Yeah, if you don't want like gauges and like sleeves or tattoos.
Yeah, like this is the perfect fucking starting point to like start going that way.
Yeah.
And even in their own work, like the first album, like I said, doesn't really have a lot of screaming. The second album does. So it's even just in listening to their own music, you slowly transition further into the heaviness pool. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Good band.
It's good shit.
Damn good band. It's a shame they're not together anymore.
I know. I was very, very sad when I found that out. Because I would have loved to see them live.
Oh,
Like,
they would've
oh my,
put
I
on
would
the
lose
show.
my fucking mind. If they were still around, they'd probably be higher on my list. I just can't put them any higher because I literally can't see them live. And every other band on my list today, I've seen live at least one time. So
Badass.
yeah.
I used to listen to Life on repeat like way back, and like they were kind of like I didn't listen to them like a ton like you probably did, but like they definitely like got my toes wet as well with like that vibe, and I was like, oh shit, okay. And then like I heard some of the screaming stuff, and I was like, well, I don't know if I like that. And then
To be fair, their screaming is not great.
No.
So
it's nothing against them. It's just like I don't think that was the best progression for them as a group. Personally,
I agree, because honestly, like the first album is immaculate. Like it is one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah, there's like 2 screams the entire album. It's more like complimentary pieces,
right?
Than like the driving force of the song.
Yeah, and then the second album, Blacklisted, it's still a good album. I still enjoy most of the songs, but like they try the screaming way too much, and it just doesn't really land all the time because they're not the best at it.
Yeah,
I just thought they were better when they stayed in their lane.
Yeah, they should just stick in the wheelhouse.
Yeah, maybe that's why they broke up. Who knows?
Yeah. Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle. What's we're moving on to number 4.
All right.
What's your number 4, bud?
All right, so my number 4, it's this one, music wise, is not as strong as some of my other people on the list, but they mean a lot to me, and they kind of like, in a way, give me hope for music in general. And the vocals are super nice. It is actually, I know some people really don't like them. I know some people in this podcast don't like them that much, but my number 4 is Ninja Sex Party.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I never said I don't like them. I just don't. I don't care about it.
What is that?
So it's a comedy band. It's made up of Danny Sexbang and Ninja Brian, and they're just 2 dudes who make a lot of songs about dicks. And so the reason why I put them on the list is because in the last episode I mentioned that Brendan Urie was like one of those vocal people that like inspired me to like want to actually have a higher voice like I do when I'm singing. And Daniel Avedon, who is Danny Sexbang's actual name, is another one of those people that like I heard his voice and I was like, oh shit, having a high voice is cool. And I kind of like learned from him to accept that, and it was cool. He also talked about it a lot on their YouTube channel, Game Grumps, which I watch a ton of. So hearing him talk about it there and then also do it as a career was like, oh, fuck. Also, it's just really cool that they can do a bunch of songs about dicks and still sell out like huge stadiums and like make a living off of making songs about dicks and sex. And it gives me hope for humanity that not everything has to be super serious. It can just be funny sometimes and just fun, you know? They also do like cover albums, which are pretty nice. They have 3 cover albums they're each called Under the Covers, and it's like volume 1, 2, and 3 right now. And they're working on number 4. But they're all really good because like it's them actually doing serious music that everyone knows. Probably their most popular one's Take on Me. Very, very big with hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, that track fucking slaps, bro.
Their cover of Africa is pretty tight. Their cover of Pour Some Sugar on Me is pretty tight. Their cover of Heat of the Moment is pretty hot. And
what the fuck was that?
Where are we?
That was so awesome.
Wow.
I love them.
That was so fucking dope. I love it.
My number 4 is Ninja Sex Party. I like them a lot. You should check them out if you like comedy bands, because they that good humor. Haha.
I have respect for them, mainly just because like I've watched Game Grumps since the day the channel came out, and like I like Danny Sexbang as a person. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Not that he was in the original Game Grumps. I'm fully aware. Keyboard warriors, fucking simmer down.
Put the keyboards away.
But yeah, no, I like Danny as a person. He has a very nice voice. I'm not super into the comedy music shtick, so I just never really got into Ninja Sex Party. But I respect him. I just personally
and like
got into it.
And he's also a real cool guy because I've seen Game Grumps live now. They're like their live show.
You did.
Yeah, it was
been in the
super
same
fun.
room as Danny Sexbang. How's that?
He called me daddy, and that's all that matters.
What?
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
No, so he didn't call just me daddy. He called like half the audience daddy.
Oh well,
'cause,
that's
like,
not that
what the
cool.
it felt like he was connecting with me.
No, like stare right in your soul as he said it.
He looked to the
He
top
was grabbed
balcony
by
of
the
which I'm
penis
sitting
when he said
in.
it.
So,
He's picking me.
and I got Danny Sexman to call me daddy, and that's why Ninja Sex Party is my number 4.
Wow.
I respect it.
Well, on that note, we're gonna move on.
Oh.
Brennan,
Fucking tight segue.
it's your number
bro.
4.
So my number 4, I guess you could say I'm into the heavier realm of music.
One could say that, yes.
Yeah, one could say that. This is a band I actually showed Tyler not too long ago. Their band that has like crazy patterns and like, you know, like measures in their songs. Like sometimes they could be a little offbeat, but like somehow keep the beat. I don't know, it's weird. But they have a huge discography. I've seen them a few times live, and every time I've had like this amazing sense of enjoyable doom. But enough beating around the bush. My number 4 band is After the Burial.
Dude, that song you showed me the last time that we were drinking was nutty as hell. How the fuck do they play that many notes at one time?
So the song he's talking about is called Berserker, and for a stretch that was their most popular song. I saw them at Warped Tour 2011, and the guitarist put the guitar behind his head and played the entire song. And I just remember thinking, like, this dude's a god.
He can't be human if
Like,
he can play that normally, let alone.
This dude has entered a different realm. I'm not sure I quite understand what it is. But, like, just incredibly heavy. That's off of the album Rare Form, which is one of like their heavier albums. Like Cursing at Kenneton, the title track, which actually I need to show you that song. If I'm not mistaken, it has like a Seinfeld-esque bass fucking slap. I'm telling you, dude. It's like a funky bass and then just breaks it the fuck down.
How have you not showed this to me already?
Because I must have forgot. We were drunk.
That's fair.
Usually when me and Tyler listen to music, we're pretty drunk.
That's perfectly fair.
But yeah, dude. They've had several albums since then. Actually, a couple of albums after that went kind of soft, but then like Dig Deep, like Lost in the Static, that song is just hell. Like
It is hell on earth. It has arrived.
like me and one buddy Roy always joked because like there's a guitar part that kind of sounds like Egyptian.
Oh, it's that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's like apocalyptic.
Yeah, and like me and my buddy Roy are like, yeah, what if they had a music video and it was just like pharaohs just like throwing down like while the band's on stage, calling for like circle pits and shit.
People just like two-stepping on a pyramid.
Yeah, like fucking like the Sphinx is fucking like slam dancing.
Oh
like,
my god.
Oh dude.
Anubis
like,
is just ramrodding some dude in the corner.
Like Raw is fucking like melting the earth while like breakdowns and just silliness is being played. So yeah, dude, they just came out with a new album last year called Evergreen, and my god, like I know like a lot of people listening to this, I know like Tyler and Kyle probably aren't into as heavy music as I am, but like I said, there's just like this overwhelming sense of enjoyable doom that causes people to just lose their minds and inflict violence upon one another, aka the pit. And I gotta say, man, it's like just listening to it and like just the sheer like gravity of like just like the chugginess of breakdowns and like you just hear the vocalist just fucking shouting like nonsense and it's just so fucking glorious. I don't know how to
Hell yeah.
And like Todd was saying, like a lot of the songs have like crazy depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's like so layered and then hearing them live, like they're so fucking crisp. Like that's a big sticking point for me on this list. Like if a band just sucks live, like I don't barely even fuck with them.
Yeah.
You know, but AKA the Amity Affliction.
Oof.
But
Damn.
gosh.
I don't even like them to begin with, so
But anyways, that's my shit talking for the night. There'll be more, but you know. My number 4. God damn are they heavy, and I fucking love it. After the Burial. Tyler.
that's me.
That's him. I'm looking at him. Yeah.
It's time for my number 4. My number 4. Speaking of bands that are good live, my number 4 is the greatest live band I've ever experienced, and that is Don Broco.
Oh my god!
Not even gonna make any more build up to it, but Don Broco is a weird British band. I don't really know what genre they play. Their first couple albums were very like progressive rock, I guess. I really don't know how to like describe them. And their new stuff is just batshit insanity.
Fucking different.
That's not a genre. They just kind of make stuff, and it's weird and good. They're probably one of the weirder bands on my entire list. But they're super, super fucking good. And they are legitimately the most fun band to see live out of any band on my list. And I would argue anybody on any of your lists as well.
Damn.
Because they put on the most fucking incredible live shows ever. Like, you listen to their stuff normally, and you're like, okay, this is pretty good. And you listen to it live, and it just hits so fucking hard. And it just makes you want to, like, jump to the ceiling and, like, suplex the dude in front of you. Their stuff is not heavy, by the way. No. I'm going to throw that out there. Not heavy at all. Like, Automatic, which is my favorite album by them, is very, like, 80s-esque, in my opinion. So there's a lot of, like, it's like pop rock, basically. And it's just really fucking good.
Yeah.
And then seeing it live is just, it hits so hard, and it's so much fun. And you want to dance and mosh at the same time. And it's just such a good fucking feeling. And the dude's fucking jawline can cut diamonds. And the man is shredded. And I pop a half chub anytime I see him live. But dude, such a good band.
They're probably
such a good band.
They're the least heavy band I've ever seen demand a wall of death.
Yes. So like that's the weird thing, right? When you go to their shows, they start circle pits. Like they want people to kill each other, even though they're not playing heavy music at all. Like when I saw them at Warped Tour, they had their guitarist come down into the middle of the crowd, and they just were like, do a fucking circle pit around me. Like, let's fucking go, commit violence. I'm like,
commit violence.
The song's not heavy, but all right, let's fucking go. And then, yeah, like he was saying, when we saw them open for last time we saw them, I mean, sorry, bleep that out. When we saw another band that we're gonna be talking about later on, and they opened for them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were playing this song called Pretty, which is a banger of a song. And then all of a sudden, everything stops, and they're just like kind of chugging along. And he's like, all right, now, I don't know if you folks over here in the States have this thing called the Wall of Death. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
dude, like,
this is Don Broco. And I'm hammered, so I'm like, let's do it.
Let's fucking go.
And
I want to see half of you over there.
That's Australian as fuck. They're British. All right, mates. Now I want to see you there.
I want to see half of you over there. I want to see the other half of you over there. Whenever the breakdown kicks off, I want you guys to run at each other right in the middle. I think I know even in Australia they call it a wall of death.
Jeez. But yeah, no, that happened, and I got eyed up by a dude who was not wearing a shirt.
It was scary.
And he had muscles. And I don't, if anyone hasn't seen what I look like. I'm very...
Dude, Tyler's low-key swole.
Okay, well,
I came over early. He had a low-key fucking pump going. He just got done lifting. I'm like, dude, like your shoulders are fucking wider. I don't know what the fuck happened, bro.
Out he's lifting.
I'll keep this in to stroke my ego, but the point is, the other dude was much bigger than me, and he was not wearing a shirt, and he was very sweaty, and he looked at me, and I'm drunk, and I'm like, I can handle this. And then they fucking started this shit again. We run at each other, and I don't remember what happened. I just remember I was collectively getting hit by 6 people and like throwing bows to 6 people at the same time. And I just kind of got tossed around like a salad. And then I fell down like 2 times. And then was helped up both times to immediately be put back down. And then I hit a few other people, and then I got back out, and I was like, wow, I am in pain. And then I chugged more beer, and I did not feel it. But when I got back home after that show, I remember we got out of the Uber, I stand up and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, fuck.
The adrenaline and the alcohol is wearing off. Like, I had work the next morning. And I remember I just fucking like hobbled into work. Like, I could not move my body at all. And I just like sit down at my desk. And Chipper looks over at me. He's like, rough night last night. I was like, it was a really good show. It's like, I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. I actually ended up pinching a nerve in my shoulder during the wall of death. And I couldn't like move my arm like higher than like 40 degrees for like 2 weeks. But it was totally fucking worth it. That was like the best fucking show. That's why Don Broco slaps hard. Put on killer shows. And even if you don't like their music, listening to it normally, just see them live and you'll like them because they put on the best fucking shows.
Yeah.
If you asked me if I wanted to see any band live on my list, including the bands I haven't even gotten to yet, I would pick Don Broco to see live every time because they have the best live shows, hands down, hands fucking down. But I don't listen to their music as much as the next 3 bands, which is why they're lower on the list.
Don Broco was really close for me too, just because I love them. Like, I remember you showed them to me, and I was like, "What's happening?"
I remember.
Like, why does this work?
I remember the first time I showed them to you. You were at my apartment, and I went to go to I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, "I'm gonna play you some tasty shit," and I threw on "Welcome to LA."
Oh,
and
yeah.
I started peeing, and I just hear, "What the fuck is this shit?"
It's just, it starts and you're just like, oh, and then it like all works. It all just kind of like fits and flows, and you're just like, what? Like, it's tasty.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
It's like it's not even possible, but it does.
Yeah. Like they're weird as hell, and I love them for it. Yeah.
I remember the first time we ever saw them. We were in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Went to see State Champs.
Yeah.
And because I remember it was their first ever show in the States.
Yeah. Like legitimately, like not even just first tour. Like the Cleveland show was their first ever show in the States.
Oh, wow.
And we were there for it. They were the opener.
And of course that was when Automatic came out.
Yeah.
And my God, I just remember like we heard it live, and like of course like then State Champs played afterward. And we were on our way driving back from Cleveland to Tyler's house in Albion. And I was like, dude, like, let's throw that shit on. And we listened to it, and we're like, oh my God, like, these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, of course they were amazing live, but like we'd never
Right.
heard of them outside of live. So we were
Right.
like, oh my gosh, like we need to fucking check these guys out.
Yeah.
And ever since then, man, we've been fucking hooked.
Because honestly, like, I was there to see State Champs, but I had the most fun during Don Broco's set. I was like, I don't know any of these songs, but like, they're bopping. Like,
it was so fucking, like, the vibe of it was so amazing. And then like everything sounded good, and then like you said, like the singer, I think his name's like Rob Damiani or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just fucking controlled everything. It's like, dude, like this is our first show over here. Like they fucking own the place.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
they were incredible, man. I have so much respect for them.
incredible.
I fucking love them.
Almost made my list, but
Yeah. Anyways,
we should probably move the fuck on.
Yeah, we definitely need to move on. We talked about Don Broco for a while.
They're so good though.
They are so good. But Kyle, what band do you think is better than Don Broco?
Do you know what band I think is better than Don Broco, Tyler, and
I
Brennan?
don't. Tell me, please.
God damn, dude. What's
Well,
up?
I will tell you later, because my number 3 is your guys' number 1, and we're just going to move right on along. Hey, Brennan, what's your number 3?
Oh. Fucking tight segue. Bro.
Thank you. I didn't
Anyways.
rehearse it at all, definitely, in the meeting at all before this for an hour.
Just sitting in front of like your fucking
the
bathroom,
mirror.
you're sweating through like all
You
of
say-
all right, okay, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get to my number 3. No, I'm not gonna do my number 3. I gotta
You're gonna-
get to
you,
number
like,
1. I don't want to
recite
spoil
it.
anything. We're just gonna go. Fuck, you have like a panic attack. You're like throwing back pills, like throwing up in the toilet. Like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, it's too much pressure.
You're like reciting this to your dog. The dog's like staring up at you like, I can't fucking tell you.
Your dog just like shut the fuck up, Buttercup. I'm trying.
Snapping on the
Often
dog.
what I say to her, so I mean...
Oh, fucking epic.
Oh man.
Oh, my number 3.
So,
So, basically, my number 3, 2 bands were in a massive tug of war for this spot. Pretty much 2 bands enter, 1 band will leave and enter my number 3. I have in the last episode, I had a decent theme as far as like one album that just is the epitome of, what I think is the best. And when I discovered Memphis May Fire, I was actually looking up singles for what at the time was an upcoming record for this band, what I think is the best album of 2011, in my opinion. Other people might disagree. But anyways, that album is called The Flood.
Oh, shit.
And my number 3 is Of Mice and
You
Men.
have Mice and Men as your number 3.
Whoa.
Because The Flood is so fucking excellent.
I even know that it's excellent.
It is. It's one of the greatest metal albums ever written.
And for that reason, so they had a self-titled album before that, obviously called Of Mice and Men. But it had more of like a kind of like a. Tyler said it best one time. All the songs kind of sound the same.
They do. Like, if I can listen to that album mixed into like my main playlist. If a song comes on, I'll listen to it. But if you just listen to the whole album like in a row, it starts to just sound like the same stuff like over and over again.
Which I completely.
It's very one note.
I completely get that gripe. But still, like Second and Sebring.
Oh yeah,
that song's
absolute
classic.
banger. That's like just like the fucking anthem of metalcore kids from that era.
For shizzle.
Yeah,
like that. Like You Dig, Westbound and Down, like the Ballad of Tommy Clayton and the Raw Dog Millionaire.
I like that song a lot.
That song is amazing.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Like John Dutoit, like the whole album is amazing.
Yeah,
if you don't listen to it in a row.
Yeah,
so greatest song.
Like it is a really good album. I will say that.
Now, I'll talk about The Flood later. Restoring Force.
Yeah,
decent record, but
it's aight.
There was a vocalist change, and of course, a lot of my picks seem to have grains of salt. These next 2 albums are the grain of salt. They ditched their guy. His name was Shaylee Borket, and I think his vocals are amazing. But anyways, the new guy, Aaron Pauley, steps in. They have recording Restoring Force. Decent album. Some good songs on it. A lot of meh songs on it. A lot of like filler. And then one of the worst albums I've ever heard in my life called Cold World.
I never even listened to that album.
I only listened to it once.
I heard the first single drop, and I was just like, no, I'm good.
So that's... But I've seen them a bunch live. Austin Carlisle was awesome live. Aaron Pauley was even awesome live. Their new vocalist. Of course, they had a new album that actually came out last year called Earth and Sky. And I actually fucking dug it, dude.
Okay.
Like Aaron Pauley, like it's so much different. It's like, I guess I'd probably say more aggressive.
Okay.
And more starts to enter the realm of dad rock, but not like totally. Like...
So it leaves the zone of metalcore and goes into the zone of edgy people music.
It like rides the line.
Okay.
Like it's like a football player trying to stop from going out of bounds.
Wow.
But I like it though.
Okay.
Like it's not dad rock.
Experience.
Yeah.
Like it's not dad rock, but it's like almost.
It's close.
But anyways, back to the focal point, the peak of A Mice and Men. The reason why they're so high on my list. The Flood. Every single song on that album is awesome. Everything is so like perfectly written. At that point, Shaylee Borket, in the self-titled, he was one of the guitarists, but in this album, The Flood, he was a bassist. And what they did was they like just turned the bass up on it, so it was just that much like heavier. Like the mix of it, there was so much more like bite to it. Now, I saw them at Warped Tour 2011. Which that was an excellent year for Warped Tour. Holy shit. But that was when The Flood had come out. And I just remember being in the pit when like Still You Diggin' played and just fucking letting loose. And then, of course, like they open with OG Loco, which is like the opening of The Flood. Oh my, like just, I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. Like I saw them, it's been at least 4 times. And every single time I was like, I am fucking satisfied. I'm so happy that this band exists. Like I said, they kind of fallen off, but it's due more to like lineup changes than anything. But my number 3, I fucking love them. If you haven't listened to The Flood, go fucking check that shit out. The whole album slaps. Of Mice and Men.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Like,
they won the tug of war.
Dude, yeah, because you got me into Mice and Men. You and Chipper, actually, in college, because you were telling me about them. And yeah, like I said, like I really dig the first 2 albums, Restoring Force to a certain extent. But yeah, I kind of fell off of them after that. But if the new album's good, I'll take your word for it. I'll give it a listen. Well, good. It's not gonna, obviously it's not gonna be good compared to The Flood.
Yeah,
that's an impossibly tall order, though.
Like imagine like their best effort with like what they have. Like they don't have Austin Carlisle, they don't have Shaylee Porquette. You know, of course they have the singer from Restoring Force, but he's also doing unclean vocals. It's kind of like edgier, but like it's not like fucking Five Finger Death Punch.
Right.
Like they're not gonna fucking like not every like minor league baseball fucking dad's gonna be listening to this shit, you know. But it just sounds good. I don't know how else to put it, man. Like it's chuggy enough. Like the melodies are nice enough. It's just I really enjoy it. So, but definitely not as strong as the old stuff. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
I only ever listened to of Mice and Men's older stuff. Like
I would recommend
Subtitle and The Flood.
I would recommend staying there.
Listen to. Yeah, they're not like a band that I'm personally like super like I don't gravitate to them all the time to listen to, but I think The Flood is one of those albums that like in music is just so well thought out and crafted that like you have to respect it, because like there is only ever like I don't remember if we talked about this on the last episode or not, but like there are albums that if you listen to them like continuously, they just work so well. And then there are albums that you can just like, they've got a couple bangers on them and you just listen to them independently. And those albums are good too. But there is something so special about finding an album that you can just put on and you never skip. Like you just feel it all the way through.
Oh yeah.
And like mad respect for them for making it. For a band that I don't even like super like am dedicated to create an album that like when I first listened to it like years ago that I was like, like, so mad respect to the boys. Yeah.
So my number we're on 3.
We're on number 3, Tyler.
Okay, so this has been a debate for me. My number 2 and my number 3 are like basically a tie, right? Like exactly a tie, pretty much. So having to choose between the two is like almost impossible for me. And it kind of flip-flops on like a day-to-day basis. But I have to go with my gut. I have to go with my heart. So the number 3 spot is going to go to State Champs.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I know is a very different tone than of Mice and Men. But I do, even though I like some of the heavy stuff and I like some of the weird stuff, sometimes I just like straight up generic pop punk. And nobody does it better than State Champs. They are like the epitome of just really good pop punk.
Stories of Art.
Story So Far is also good, but most of their shit sounds the same. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, they're a one-trick pony. They do it really well.
I love their last album because the songs sound different. But if you go to anything before that, I feel like I'm listening to the same song over and over again. But that's why they're not on my list.
You're not wrong.
State Champs is on my list because State Champs slaps. Their first album is a joke, and that's why they don't even acknowledge it exists. But The Finer Things is incredible. Around the World and Back is incredible.
Yeah.
What was the last album they put out? I forget. I should know because they're my third favorite band.
You like beat off to them.
I do. I listen to it all the time.
Anyways,
Living Proof.
Yeah.
That album is mostly good.
Mostly
has some stinkers, but in general, I enjoyed it.
Most albums do.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. The Finer Things and Around the World and Back have no bad songs. They have 2 albums in a row that's just nothing but bangers. How do you do
impressive.
it? And it's also one of those bands that like whenever I'm introducing people to bands that I listen to, I always start them off, especially if it's like a person I don't know that well and I don't know what their tastes are. And they have to dip their toes into the pool. I always start them with State Champs because I've never met a single person in my entire life who I've shown State Champs to and has not liked it.
Valid.
Yeah. More often times than not, they end up liking State Champs more than any other band I show them, which is questionable. But it's, you know, they are like, they are just in this weird, perfect zone of music where just anybody who listens to anything can enjoy it, because it's just, I don't want to say it's generic because it's not, but it's just very like normal. So it's relatable to like everyone, because they're getting super mainstream too. Like,
bummer. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean it kind of is, but
well, they're like dead center on the Venn diagram.
Yeah,
of music. I feel like
but that's the thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing though, because sometimes you just want quality, just regular music. State Champs just nails that.
Yeah.
State Champs is like a band where it's like, if it's summertime and I just want to roll the windows down and just like go on a cruise, like I'll be jamming State Champs.
Florida Georgia line. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, no, and I've seen State Champs live 3 times now, and each time has been just an absolute banger of a show. First time we saw them was in Cleveland when Don Broco opened for them. And hell of a show. It was exhausting. They played almost like 2 full albums, but like, damn, it was good. And then like I saw them at Warped Tour a few years later, and show was insane. They opened with my favorite song, which is All Yours History, which is a story. I'm just gonna throw this out here because I don't know if I'm gonna get to talk about this again.
You can throw it out, bro.
So, fucking Warped Tour 2018. Was that the last one? Yeah. It was the last Warped Tour. And I go there with Chipper, and there's so many bands playing the whole day that we are into. We're just running from stage to stage to stage to stage, band to band to band. And I don't have time to eat at any point during this thing. Obviously, State Champs is like the big name band that I am there to see, right? There is an hour break between, I think it was Don Broco and State Champs. I'm like, okay, now is our opportunity. We're going to go get food. And the line for food was fucking stupid. And I'm sitting in line. I'm standing in line the whole hour. And then, like, I get up. I'm literally 2 people away from getting to order food. And I look at my phone, and State Champs goes on in 5 minutes. And I have to make a decision. I'm like, do I stay in line and get my food that I've waited an hour to get so I can survive, because I am so fucking hungry from moshing all day, and risk missing the number 1 band I'm here to see today? Or do I just cut my losses and make sure I'm at the front of the stage for this? And I did that. And I regretted it on the way there because I was so hungry. But then they opened with All Yours History, and I was like, no, the correct decision was made. We were in it, and I fucking threw down like I had all the energy in the world for that whole show, and it was insane. And then I almost died because I had no fucking food in my system, and I had to go wait in line for an hour. Again, I listened to the entirety of the Real Big Fish set play and end while I was in line for food. And then, like, 30 minutes after their entire set ended, I got my food. It was a long day.
Oh. As a Warped Tour veteran, the secret, you eat a huge meal, usually pasta, the night before.
That would have been smart.
The morning of, you eat another huge meal. Like, go to Mickey D's. Spend like $15 on the dollar menu. Get as much shit as you humanly can fit in your fucking gullet. Just feast.
I had a McGriddle that morning.
Well,
it did not last long.
Not fucking good enough. No, I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
you literally eat as much as you possibly can.
That would have been a much better idea.
Then you like all day you just last.
That was also the first day in my entire existence on this planet that I got a sunburn, and it's because Chipper is a punk bitch. I'm calling you out.
Fuck you, Chipper.
Ooh. I forgot sunscreen, and I was like, we need to get sunscreen, and he was like, I'm driving. No. And so I had to go the whole day in like a 90-degree heat wave, to the point, like, it was like one of the worst heat waves in like Pittsburgh history. Like, Warped Tour made the news because people were getting heat stroke and getting hauled out in ambulances. I remember Kyle called me while I was in line for my fucking food, and he was like, you're alive, right? And I'm like, yeah.
He was blowing up my phone, and I was like, oh, fuck, my friends are there.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, it was fucking hot. And then, I What was the point I was trying to make? I got so like.
You were talking about how you got like emaciated just to see fucking state champs, and now you had sunburn just because.
Oh yeah, the sunburn thing, right? Yeah. So then I'm out in like the worst heat ever, and like I'm a very tan boy. Like I get tan. That's why I've never burned, because I get very crispy. But I'm like in this heat. I haven't gone outside in like a year. It'd been like the last time I went outside for a prolonged period of time was the Warped Tour the year before. So I was like, this is not gonna end well. And I just had to deal with it. I got sunburned for the first time, felt like a punk bitch.
Maybe it's because you are. No, just kidding.
Maybe it is. But anyway, after that long fucking tangent, which I probably cut shorter in post. Yeah, state champs.
Kyle.
Quality band.
Tyler.
What?
You said something that really rung with me in that last little number 3 you just did there. And it was that, like, depending on the day, like what music you're feeling, you always, like, you could pick either or, like how State Champs kind of lands in the middle, and it's like a good, like, if you really want to listen to that, you can listen to that. Or you have like your heavier stuff you listen to. Mm-hmm. That's a great segue into exactly how I feel about my top 3, because my number 3 is on the heavier side and like the you guys side, and then my number 2 and 1 are on my like instrumentally jazzy woo side, and and literally depending on the day, like I'm either in the mood to listen to my 2 and my 1 over and over again on off occasions, my rap stuff, and then I have what my number 3 is, which we'll talk about later, because your guys' number is 1. So my number 2 is a beautiful man named Jacob Collier.
I think you showed me this guy before.
I probably have, because I love him. I don't know when this will come out, but I'm seeing him in the near future, and I'm excited. All right, so I had mentioned before that Corey Henry was just like, you saw him play and like you're like, music? What is music? This man, Jacob Collier. All right, he is a virtuoso, a motherfucking virtuoso. All right, if he's so good. All right, so first of all, he like has a brain for music that he shouldn't. He's only 25 years old, and he has like created these absolutely beautiful. He's 4-time Grammy winner, and he's 25. First of all, and
damn, all right.
He just recently beat out fucking John Williams for best instrumental fucking song at the Grammys.
What?
And I'm like, I was like, how? Like, how?
That is like impressive as fuck.
I literally like I was watching it because like he got nominated for 2 this last Grammys, and I was like, all right, I wish him the best, but like, and his cover of Moon River was what won it, or was it Moon River? I don't remember which one it was, because Moon River won one, and then his cover of something else won another one. But anyways, I saw that he was up against John Williams, and I was like, I love my boy, but it's John Williams. And it was it was Hedwig's theme, like from the new the Harry Potter movie, whatever it's called, I don't remember. Fantastic Beasts, that's it. And I was like, it's fucking Harry Potter music. Of course he's gonna win. And then he won. And I was like, what? But so first of all, if you didn't think he was like legit, fucking shut up. So his first album, like full album, is called In My Room, came out in 2016. Blows my mind every time. So what he does often is he layers his own voice to like harmonize with himself, and he has like a crazy knowledge of music theory. So he like understands how like legitimately everything works in music. And there are videos you can look up on YouTube of him describing music theory, and it like I can't explain to you how baffled I am when I listen to this man talk about music. He also has perfect pitch, which means that if somebody asked him to sing like an F sharp, he would be like, dude, and he would get it. I really hope that was an F sharp. That'd be really cool. But I don't know perfect pitch. But so like he literally will be explaining something, and then he'll talk about like a certain chord, and then he'll sing the chord, and it'll be perfect. And you're like, what? And oh my god. So like the best ones to listen to for sure on In My Room specifically are Woke Up Today and Hideaway are my 2 favorites for sure. And then In My Room, the self-titled track is really good too. But those are bangers. It's him when he's a little younger. He doesn't have a lot of experience yet, but like they're still like just so complex and tasty. And then he fucking like traveled a ton and was like going to all these different places. And he was like, I have an idea. I'm going to make a 4-volume music experience. And so each album is 1 volume, and they're inspired by different things he experienced like throughout the world and like his travels of music. And they're good. So the first one has some more like orchestral stuff. It's featuring the Metropole Orkest, which is a very popular orchestra. And there's a ton of really good songs on there. The best one by far is the song With the Love of My Heart. It is probably my favorite song he's ever done. And it's saying a lot because he has a lot of good songs, but it's so good. He does a cover of All Night Long, which is really good. He does a cover of Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic with an orchestra. It's so good. That whole album is awesome. And the whole music experience, oh my God, I hit my mic. The whole music experience is called Jesse, DJESSE. And so each one's called Jesse Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. So that was Volume 1, is all orchestral and shit. Volume 2 is a little bit more like drawn back, slow, fun, enjoyable little tunes. And he has like some different like he has Dodie, a YouTuber that he features on it, super good. The best one on that album by far is Moon River, and he has like over 1,000 tracks layered into making the song, and I get chills like legitimately every time. Like, you talk about getting a quarter chub about something, bitch, I'm full on. I'm exploding from the seams. Moon River's so tasty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, get you some.
No, it's so good. And then recently he released the first track from Volume 3, which he will be releasing by the time I see him. I'm so excited. And it's really funky. He literally said at a live show, he was like, "You aren't ready for how funky this album's about to be." And I was like, "Give it to me." I'm so ready. But the first song that he released from it is called Time Alone With You, featuring Daniel Caesar, and it is so good. But basically what I'm trying to say is this man's a musical genius. He's super good. If you like really weird music, and he does all sorts of stuff because everything has like its own little theme in it. But if you like acapella-y stuff, he does a lot of that kind of stuff where like he layers his voice so it has like acapella vibes to it. Definitely give him a listen. I really like him. Unfortunately, I haven't been listening to him as long as my number one, so he does get edged out by my number one, and I have a lot of emotional connection with my number one just because I've seen them a couple times. So, yeah, Jacob, I love you. That's my number two. Jacob Collier.
Damn, I'll have to check him out, dude.
Yeah, I think I do remember you showing me one song from him, and it like blew my fucking mind open. But I just never went back and listened to more of his stuff because I couldn't remember his name. So definitely gonna look up more of his stuff now. Brennan, we're on to you.
Oh, my number two.
What is your numero 2?
Numero dos, Tyler.
It's cultural appropriation. I'm American. I will stick to my 2.
Learn your fucking Mexican, Tyler.
Raul, teach me, please.
Oh, man, my number 2. I'm going to stick with the theme of one album that really dominates the scene as far as the artists are concerned. The next year, from Of Mice and Men's The Flood, came an album called Diamond. And my fucking God, every single song, it's another one of those albums where like every single song just is not to be skipped. Just a great mixture of like hardcore and melody, and the overarching theme is like life is precious, so we need to treat it as such. And of course, they've had albums since then that I thought were amazing. For a hardcore band, they certainly preach a very positive message. My number 2 pick, Stick to Your Guns.
Stick to Your Guns. I have enjoyed what I've heard from them.
They, like I said, Diamond came out. They had a couple albums before that. The one album before that I really liked was called The Hope Division. And of course, like their most popular song of that's called Amber, and it's about a girl that like she's like in this amazing girl, but like the world's like beating down on her constantly, and she's like contemplating suicide. It's basically like the song was like talking her out of it. Of course, like The Wolves Are at the Door is another good banger off that album. But where the band excels, like I said, the album's called Diamond, came out in 2012. I remember I used to play football in high school, and anytime we had like a long road trip to get to opposing teams like stadiums and stuff, I used to just like literally like start the top of the album and just let it play, And if I got through the whole album, like I knew I was gonna have a good game. And it's crazy. Like they're a hardcore band, like I've seen them live a few times, and like it's crazy. Like you'll be in the pit, like you just hear just like the nastiest, like fucking just like evil breakdowns, like people just like hurting each other in the pit, and then like as soon as the song is over, like it's just like this big embrace. Like goddamn, like what we're doing here is special today, folks. And
Damn.
and of course like the vocalist, like he always has like this message of like, hey, like if you want to be the change in the world, like you need to start with yourself. And that, of course, that's the overarching theme for another album that they came out with called Disobedient, where like literally like in half the album he's saying like it starts with me. But goddamn, like even in one of their songs in Diamond, they actually have like a bit, like a sample where like I guess it was like an interview of some sort, and it was this guy speaking, and he's like, yeah, like a lot of people are so absorbed like in the music, like what bands sound like, but he's like, but the lyrics need to come to the forefront of every song. And the song was like, some of the lyrics are like give back or get out, like you're not supposed to like take everything for yourself. Like another lyrics like, it's the obligation of those who have everything to give to those who have nothing. Like just it's crazy, like a band so heavy has like such like positive shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I said, like it's violent music, like there's pits, there's fucking mayhem, like seeing them live, like you're just like, oh my god, like the music makes me want to commit violence. But then like at the end of it, like I said, there's just like this embrace. And it's beautiful. And for a hardcore band, it's like holy shit. And like your message is so positive. Damn. But so diabolically heavily delivered. So, but I just they've always had a good spot for me, That, and there's a song I showed Tyler.
This is the one.
So Tyler and I have a fascination of breakdown starters. Like your typical like bleh, like where like vocalists usually kick off a breakdown with something that's usually pretty funny or just it's like the nastiest fucking thing you've ever heard. And off of Disobedient, there's a song called Nobody. And so they're like building up, like some like epic shit's about to happen. And all of a sudden the vocalist is like, ooh.
It kills me every time.
Drops.
Every fucking time.
Lose my shit. Oh my god, the fucking house. The sky is falling. I don't know what the fuck. Like just people are flailing arms and shit. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Like so fucking just metal, dude. Like
yeah, stick to your guns. They're one of those bands that like I know I would like more of their stuff if I took the time to listen to them, and I just haven't taken the time to do that. But after you like describing all of like the the positive message lyrical goodness, that like definitely gives me extra motivation to like actually go check them out, because I love shit like that. Like definitely. That bands with lyrics that have like actual deep meaning always hit harder. And then if they're like just really good sounding on top of that definitely
I would definitely recommend like I said, like the Hope Division, listen to the song Amber. Like definitely some of the best of their early work.
Yeah,
like I said, the whole album of Diamond, they actually have a song called the album starts off with a song called Diamond, and it starts off with literally Gandhi talking about how like and like in these days there's no teacher, like you yourself are the teacher, you're the master, you're everything, you're everything that you want to be. Pretty much.
Damn.
And the song, like literally, like the lyrics are like, this life's my diamond. Like this is like everything's got to be like precious to me. I need to treat everything as if it is everything. Hell yeah, dude. My number 2, stick to your guns, baby.
Damn.
I'll definitely give them a listen, dude.
I definitely need to check them out now.
Check them out. Like I said, they're hardcore. They're heavy. They break it down.
Yeah.
Just listen to the words, man.
And speaking of bands with lyrics that like mean something, there are a lot of bands that I listen to, especially recently, where like the lyrical content just kind of like hits me on like another level, because I like relate to it a lot. And none of those bands made my list, unfortunately, except for one, and that is my number 2 band, Stand Atlantic.
Wow.
Which is a much newer band, and they don't have like a massive following yet, but they're getting there.
No, they are Australian.
They are Australian, yes.
There you go,
and
you got it.
they are another pop punk band, which is why they're kind of interchangeable with State Champs, and I flip flop on them a lot. But my heart tells me I like them more, and I think I made the right call.
I'm surprised. I figured they'd be up on your list, but I didn't think they'd be number 2.
Yeah, no, I fucking love them, dude. Like, and it also helps that their lead singer Bonnie Fraser is like the most attractive woman ever, and
she's good. We met her. She's good looking.
She's good looking. Well, she's not the most attractive woman ever, but she's very good looking. We did meet her. I fangirled super hard. I was panicking.
I thought Tyler was gonna cum his pants.
I was panicking so much.
Real shit.
I mean, I met all of them except for the drummer. But I only cared about meeting Bonnie.
Tyler like fangirled so hard. He was asking me to take a picture. So I was like, okay. And like before I took the picture, I put my beer out like to toast like the chick, the singer, and she completely missed. And she's like, wow, I can't even fucking she has a beer right. She fucking hits again and like actually connects, and I'm like, fuck yeah, fucking both of us give a quick chug. Tyler goes over there, snaps a pic, fucking dude. Way to fan.
We like bullshitted with them for a little bit too,
cool.
which was cool. They were really cool people. But yeah, no, I was internally panicking the whole fucking time.
Oh yeah,
like, the entire time.
Yeah, like, he was like sweating and climaxing all at once.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty wild.
It was highlight of my life for sure. But yeah, and then we saw them live later that day, and they were great.
They were amazing.
Their pits were lit. And, like,
I was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised too. But I
was like, she doesn't even scream.
Yeah, no, because they're not heavy. They're just pop punk with a female vocalist.
I want to see half you over there. I want to see the other half you over there. I want to see a fucking wall of death beating around the fucking middle.
I'm gonna drink this shoey real quick.
I'm gonna drink this Foster's.
Oh my
Foster's Australian for beer.
My fucking god. But anyway, the reason that I like them so much, which again, I know you're saying like, oh, it's shocking that they're like up so high. But I think the main reason is just like when I originally discovered them, it was like a rougher patch of my life for sure. And it was right before because they only have an EP and an album and like a few singles. So this was like on like the brink before the first album was like dropping. And they had released like a couple singles from it, like Lavender Bones, like the best song they ever fucking wrote. And like
it's a good song, but
it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, Hate Me Sometimes is
I think
arguably the best. I think that's the best.
I like
song
Coffee
too.
Midnight. I like Skinny Dippin'.
Yeah, like they're all great songs. And like the great thing about them is like a lot of their songs, like the lyrics just hit like really hard. Like they talk about some like relatable stuff, definitely. Like they have a lot of stuff about depression. For those of you who don't know, like I have that, so like being able to, this is like one of the first bands I heard where they were like really kind of like open about that lyrically, so it just spoke to me on like a different level that like other bands really hadn't necessarily, especially at that point. I don't know, their songs have always just hit me on like a deeper level than a lot of other bands that I listen to. So I think that on top of the fact that their lead singer is very attractive has bolstered them to like close to the top of my list. They hold a very special place in my heart. And after I saw them live and they slap live, that just kind of solidified it. You know,
they're damn good.
I think the moment I realized that I liked them more than State Champs was that day when I had the opportunity to meet State Champs or them, and I chose to meet them. So
That's it right there.
yeah. That's always kind of the thing that I come back to. I'm like, well, I do listen to State Champs more sometimes, but like I think at the end of the day, I do like State Atlantic more. And yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I really like them. And if y'all haven't listened to them, because you probably haven't, because they're very new, I would recommend checking them out because they're a good time.
Yeah, Stan Atlantic.
Yeah.
Is there
fun
a new song
and deep
good?
at the same time. Oh, yeah, the new song's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that had come out. I just like looked it up and I
Yeah,
was
that
like,
came
oh, shit,
out like 2 weeks ago, I think.
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not as good as like Lavender Bones or Hate Me Sometimes, but it's still pretty good. I would say they haven't written a bad song though, because I like them a lot.
Agree.
So
I would agree.
Yeah, I've listened to all of their songs and they're all good to some capacity. So
Some capacity, bro.
even like the really like depressing ones, like Toothpicks. It's super fucking depressing, but it's good for what it is. It's like, I'm not gonna fucking jam that while I'm like road tripping with the bros, but you know, sometimes the mood calls for that.
Instead of catching the car on fire, you just make it ice cold.
Right.
like this car is not fucking lit on this road trip, bro. Like, I gotta put the fucking stunner shades away.
Oh man. And
Stay
now
Atlantic.
we are on to our number ones.
Oh wow, dude.
Dude,
it's
we've come
time.
so far.
It is that time.
We've literally gone through 9 other bands.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, except Kyle's number 3, which we're getting to.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get there. It's okay.
But before we get to that, Kyle, what's your number one?
All right, so I'm gonna take you guys on a little journey. All right.
Oh God.
It's 2004. You are at the University of North Texas.
Well, the Mean Green.
Hell yeah. You are a man by the name of Michael League. Michael League is a music student, and he didn't place into any of the music groups at the college, and he's very disappointed. So what does he do? He makes his own fucking group. He gathers 9 people that he thinks are really good and cool people, and he creates a 10-piece band called Snarky Puppy.
Oh, that name gets me, bro.
Oh yeah.
I love it so much. But no, seriously though, that is their origin in 2004. He just made a group together because he was like, I'm not good enough to get into these school ensembles. I'm going to make my own. And now they've won Grammys and traveled the world. But who's good now, motherfuckers?
Damn, way to just flex on
Yeah,
the University of whatever.
The strongest fucking flex. I won a Grammy.
But yeah, no, they're my favorite band, hands down. And the reason why like 1, 2, and 3 are so close for me is because like they're like different vibes. Because my number 2 is like predominantly vocal with Jacob Collier. These guys are like instrumental, and I love it. And then my number 3 is another band that we'll talk about. But so there are a lot of albums by Snarky Puppy, a lot of incredible albums. So they're I should explain who they are. They are an instrumental group. They are a jazz, fusion, funk, contemporary, lots of things. They do a lot of stuff. They dip their toes in so many things. They have had over 40 members in the group, I think now, because like they just keep bringing people in and out, and like they come and play with them. They refer to them all as the fam, and they perform with them, and then they sometimes leave. One of those people being Corey Henry, my number 9, came in and played with them. I mentioned before that he was on a song called Lingus, and so it's so good. It's one of the first songs I've ever heard.
Okay, I have to just say, like,
time
the
out.
audio cut out. You were like, in a song called "Beat," and then it's just like completely cut out, and it's not gonna be on the recording. But like, that was funny as hell.
That was epic, bro. Like, literally, we started looking at each other. We're like, thinking about like, did you get that? I sure shit didn't get that. Like,
Oh my God.
And then it cut back in, and it sounded like you said "Cunnilingus," and I doubt that was the name of the song.
is that the name?
The song is called Lingus.
Oh, okay,
okay.
it's close.
So we kind of heard it, but
Yeah, you kind of heard it.
like, literally it just cut out, and we're like, fuck.
It's like,
Okay.
all right.
Way to blue ball me, bro. Like,
Anyway,
But yeah, no. So like they have so many different people. They travel all over the fucking world to perform. They're extremely well known in that hemisphere of music. Another really cool thing about them is often when they perform, they'll also do like what's called a master class, and that's when like a group will come in to a community or maybe a college or I don't know, anybody, like it can be any group of people, and they'll offer to like teach some like different like stuff that they've learned and like help people learn music stuff. And they've done it like in literally like, multiple continents, like and it's super dope that they just want to like impart that knowledge upon people. But as far as music you should listen to goes, listen to literally every fucking album by them because they're all beautiful. But they all have very different vibes. They like get inspired by the different places they go. The first one that I'm going to talk about is Vulture. It is a really good album. Came out in 2016.
That is a hell of a name.
Hell yeah, it is. There are so many good fucking there's so many good names in all of these. My favorite off the album is definitely Big Ugly. It is funky as fuck. But overall, the whole album has a very like Latin American theme to it. Like you have a lot of that kind of like. There's the one song, I don't remember which one it is. It might be Tarova. I don't remember for sure. But it has like a flute going on, like a jazz flute, just like hopping around, and you're like, oh shit, and you're just vibing to it. It's so good. Shit, dog. Shit, get that flute. But yeah, no. Then they have an album called Ground Up, named after the label they're a part of, I'm pretty sure. And it has a lot more like lead guitar inspired bits to it, so it has a little bit more of like a rock-ish theme to it. It's super good. Thing of Gold is super good from that album. Quartermaster's fucking awesome. And then they've got an album called fucking Silva. Silva is featuring the Metropole Orkest, those people I talked about in the last with Jacob Collier. And they did it was like a jazz band with an orchestra doing jazz string music. And it is so good. And earlier I talked about like when albums like just like are perfect, like just an overall album. The story it tells through its instrumental music is so, I'll say it, tasty. Oh, it's so good. If you listen to only one all the way through, listen to Silva, because Silva is so good. Some of the songs are really long because it's an orchestra, because like it's string music and it's like they're like long pieces, whatever. There are a good amount of songs by them that are really long, but because it's jazz songs go a long time because people like to improv and shit over it. But then they have albums called Family Dinner, and they have multiple volumes of it where like they just bring in a ton of people. One of those people once being Jacob Collier. Wow. They just have so many good albums. But by far, my two favorite albums they have released were the first one I listened to in 2014. It's called We Like It Here. It has my favorite song of all time on it. No contest. My favorite song called Shofukan. It is so good. It is it's the first song I ever heard by them, and it like the reason why this band is my number one is because this band does with music what I feel like music should always do, and it like just brings people together no matter the culture. It just like can be whatever it wants to be. It's just this free fucking flowing thing that just like this group can be just really jazzy, or it can be really like Latin American-y, or it can be with an orchestra, or it can be kind of rock. Like it just flows and it becomes whatever it feels it wants to be. And it's just so fun. It is always fun. I've seen them twice. I saw them on my 21st birthday, and I got really drunk, and I have never had a better time in my entire fucking life. It was so good. I drank wine all day during the day, and then I went and drank a ton of beer during the thing. And I just sat back, and they played a song called Bad Kids to the Back, which vaguely reminds me of the opening of Hey Arnold, but that's fine. And when you hear it, you'll know. If you look it up, Bad Kids to the Back, it literally just sounds like Hey Arnold. But anyway, it's so good. I remember in that moment, it all hit me, and I was just like, oh fuck, it's good. Bad Kids to the Back is on an album called Immigrants, which just came out last year, almost a year ago now. And that album is like, it feels a lot like We Like It Here, the other album I really like by them. And so like obviously it was just like, oh, so good. I really don't know what else I can really say about them. They're just like so good, so fun. And a really great thing about them is that I've seen them live twice, and they like sell the recordings of their live shows for you to download for like $10. And so you get like, they'll mix it so that it sounds good, and then they'll just like pop up on your computer and you can download it. And I have both the recordings from the 2 times I've seen them, and they play the same some of the same songs both times, and they sound so different than like the studio recorded version, just because like in the moment they'll just start improvising on something, and it's just like a whole new experience every time you get to see them live. And like they just like, they'll often interact with the audience, or like they have them do like clap weird rhythms to like match the music, and you're like, that won't work, and then it does, and you're like, fuck, music's cool. And it's just I won't rant too much longer about them, because I know we're gonna rant about the next group a lot. But before we talk about metal-y stuff again, if you like instrumental stuff, jazz stuff, anything like that, if I had to pick one band to recommend, because I know these two are going to recommend the other one, I would definitely recommend. I would recommend Snarky Puppy. Go give them a listen. We Like It Here or Immigrants. Those are the 2 albums for sure. But yeah, that's my number one, Snarky Puppy.
I'm definitely gonna check them out, because I know you've talked about them for years, and I'm a shitty friend, so I just have never ever gotten around to listening to them. But I always want to. Like anytime we hang out, I'm just like, fuck. Like I see your little like sticker on your laptop. I'm like, yeah, I need to look them up. And I just don't. But I will
always
now.
Bring them up at bad times, because like it's always like in the middle of something. I'm like, oh shit, we listen to Snarky Puppy, and you're just like, I'm in the middle of shitting, and I'm like, oh shit, sorry.
That sounds like a perfect time to get exposed to a jazz
band. I have done
band.
that to you before. Like you walked into the bathroom, and right as you went to the bathroom, I was like, oh shit, we should put on Snarky Puppy, and you were like, I'm shitting. That has happened.
I'm shitting. There's literally fecal matter dripping out of my ass right now as we speak.
Hell yeah, dude. We'll check them out. We'll give them a listen.
Yeah.
Well, we're on to our number one. Right, me and Brennan have the same number one, and it is the same as Kyle's number 3.
Let me
previously stated.
I'm gonna set. So the first time I was ever exposed to this band. See what my family used to do. We used to go to a mall called South Hills Village. I actually talked about this when I was talking about Rise Against, and we would go to FYE and we buy albums. Well, my sister actually bought the album. It's called Downtown Battle Mountain. And sometimes my dad would like to, grab whatever album me and my sister bought. We'd listen to it on the way home from the mall. Well, my sister like straight up looked at him, and she's like, "Listen, just play this." So my dad pops a CD in, a song called Untitled plays. It's kind of like just a setup, beginning of the album. And the very first song I ever heard from this band was called "And I Told Them I Invented Times New Roman." I just remember I'm in the backseat of my dad's truck, and I just sunk into the seat, like goosebumps. It's instantly covered like every part of my body, and I'm like, "What is this shit?" I never understood that songs could have such depth and so much like emotion and passion, and like everything about it was just so deeply layered. As soon as we listened the whole pretty much a good chunk of the album, like Lemon Meringue Tie, Strawberry Andre, Backwards Pumpkin Song,
all bangers.
I just remember as soon as we get home, I don't even let my sister grab the album. I took the album, ran up to the computer, put it on iTunes, because this is 2007, burned it right onto that shit, put that shit right on my new iPod. The band is called Dance Gavin Dance.
Woo! Yes!
Oh my god.
Full chub just saying the name,
dude.
Man, flash forward to fucking 2015.
Yeah.
Summer of 2015, and we're driving back from a big old fucking campfire hangout weekend in the sticks, and we're going back to the dorms, and I remember you just hit me with, "Hey, do you want to hear a band where the vocalist sounds like a girl?" And I was like, "Sure." And granted, modern Dance Gavin Dance is a very different band than old school Dance Gavin Dance. But still, he played the greatest song I've ever heard in my life, We Own the Night, and it melted my fucking eardrums out. And I was like, I need more of this, please, and thank you.
And then I instantly hit you with Stroke God Million.
Yeah, and I came in your backseat.
Oh my god. My backseat was filthy for weeks.
Actually, wait, I was driving. I came on my steering wheel.
Oh, wait.
It was my car.
Never mind. Different memory.
Yeah. I came in your backseat at a completely different time. I'm mixing up memories. There's too many things.
All of it's music related.
Too many fluids have shot out and
Dude, my backseat is like you put a fucking blacklight to that shit, you'll be amazed. But
anyway, Dance Gavin Dance is like a really fucking good band. You need to listen to them. So here's the thing. Music, right? Music is like this thing that people listen to. And normally people are basic. People are dumb. And they're like, I'm going to listen to top 40. I'm going to listen to country. And they put on music. And they think they're listening to music, but they're really not. They're just listening to what the system is putting in their ears. And it's all garbage. None of it's good. It's all uninspired. Except for apparently Billie Eilish, because that was on your list. And I'll give you some respect for that, I guess, because I respect you. But real music. Dance Gavin Dance makes real music. Now you might say screaming isn't real music, and to that I would say fuck you. Pussy. Screaming is an art form, and it brings out it's a parallel to the clean vocals that my boy Tillian Pearson is just serenading you with. Right, he's pouring it like liquid ranch dressing down your ear holes. That's just turning into gold on the way down.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Just activating all the dopamine splooges in your brain and just making your entire body go numb and tingly. And it's so good. And then the screaming it keeps you honest to God. And it's so fucking full of depth and layers, like a lasagna made of just angel cheek.
Wow, that was a combination of that, huh?
Clapping these motherfucking angel cheeks, motherfucker. That's listening to DGD.
But yeah, Dance Gavin Dance. If you want to know what music truly is, listen to Instant Gratification.
Slap.
Listen to Mothership.
Slap.
Listen to Artificial Selection.
Slap.
Listen
Yes.
to probably Afterburner, which will be out by the time this releases.
Oh my god, it's already a banger.
There's already a banger on it. It's so true.
And listen to their old albums too. Downtown Battle Mountain 1 and 2, both bangers.
Johnny Craig, bro.
Johnny Craig was also okay. He's an asshole, but you know.
He's a douchebag to fucking slaves.
Yeah, he's about to get fired off of his own solo career probably. At this point, I mean...
Slaves the band, not actual slaves.
Oh yeah, let's clarify. There's a
that
band
shit.
called Slaves.
That he was a singer of and
Holy
literally
shit.
just bailed.
That is a band I love that I could never buy merch for because that would just be
That
an
would just help
awkward
him out.
conversation.
They were straight as slaves. They're like,
I can't be... Guys, why'd you name your band Slaves? You're good. I can't wear a shirt that just says Slaves in all capital letters with no fucking context.
like,
Okay?
oh man.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Dance
So-
Gavin Dance.
And then of course also listen to the self-titled, aka Death Star,
Yes.
and Happiness, which both include Kurt Travis.
Yes.
Dance Gavin Dance is one of the bands that has survived probably one of the most tumultuous lineups in history.
Oh, yeah.
So Downtown Battle Mountain. Well, they also had an album before that called Whatever I Say Is Royal Ocean. It's more of an EP.
It was
But
great.
the only song I've listened to is Robo Human Hair Part 1.
I'll listen to any of them, so.
Yeah. Anyways, like, Johnny Craig was the original vocalist. And the dude, like I said, like the first time I ever heard him, I heard the first Downtown Battle Mountain album. He's more like passionate, kind of whiny of a vocalist, but like really sounds good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we think Tillian's better.
Oh, yeah.
So he leaves the
for
band. He leaves the band. Fucking douchebaggery, drug addiction, all that good shit. In comes Kurt Travis, who's another good singer. You know, of course, like I said, the self-titled, like Uneasy Hearts Weigh the Most. Oh my fucking god!
Might be one of the greatest songs ever written, in my opinion.
We finally saw. Okay, I have a pretty funny story about this.
We're going off on such a tangent.
Yeah, we have to. It's DGD.
I knew this was gonna happen. That's why I
It's just like-
my number one.
So
all over the place.
So, we saw them last year, in April of last year. And I remember we were in the pit, and there was this kid, he had a shirt that said, what, Thick Boy?
It said Thick Boy on it, yeah.
So, we're all like, dude, I wonder what song they want to play. What's a song you want to hear them play? And the dude's like, Uneasy Hearts Weigh the Most. I'm like, fucking right, dude. So, they start playing, all right? I see this kid in the pit, and I truck stick the shit out of him. All right. Next thing I know, he's on the ground. He's not getting up. And I'm
This
like...
was like 2 bands
Ew.
before DGD went on.
Well, okay, so the show started.
the man never even got to see the fact that they played the one song that he wanted to hear.
So, the dude's
Wow,
like...
this is tragic.
Yeah, so like me and like a couple other people, like, we helped this dude up. And he's like, my ankle, dude, I can't put any fucking weight on it. I'm like, dude, I am so sorry. So like we help him like get outside and shit. And then like DGD starts playing. I think like the second or third song they played was Uneasy Hearts Weigh the Most. I'm like, I feel like fucking shit. I just ruined that kid's night. So Kurt Travis, all right, really fucking good. Tree Village,
God, you know?
just fucking slather it. Like Alex English, fucking me and Zoloft get along just fine. Like, oh man, it's fucking excellent. But of course, the guy that we really give a shit about.
The guy that I definitely give a shit about.
Johnny Craig came back for DBM too, but forget that shit.
Not that
album's really good.
That album was good. I like that album.
It has good licks, good grooves.
Blue Dream touches
Dream.
my penis. Okay,
Oh my
can we
gosh.
just
Blue Dream, and of course, like Heat Seeking Ghost of Sex.
Heat Seeking Ghost of Sex, also a banger.
Need Money.
I like all the songs on that. I'm gonna be completely
That album's
legit.
pretty good.
It's a really good album.
I despise John Mess's screams in that album.
I don't mind him in all honesty.
I just-
They're not really screams. He's just kind of talking in a weird
True,
voice.
yeah. He's like raspy talking. But anyways, Tillian.
Oh!
Fucking
Tillian!
Pierce,
Yeah,
bro.
dude. Like I said in the last episode, Tillian has the voice of a god, and I love his voice. He's my favorite like vocalist of all time.
Yes.
Any project he's involved with is just glorious.
Yes. His voice is so high pitched. He hits crazy high notes. Of course, like Accepted Speech came out, which actually wasn't too greatly received when it came out. But like they just did a remaster of it last year.
Yeah.
And my God, it's so much better.
I dig it.
But like that album still is like really good though. And then Instant Gratification came out, which Instant Gratification, like a lot of these bands that are on my list, I have a favorite album, an album where I believe to me is the best. Now granted, Mothership and Artificial Selection I think are also like 1A and 1B.
Sure, yeah.
But of course, your mileage may vary. But to me, Instant Gratification, like every single song, like I don't skip a single song on that record. It is so fucking awesome. Like Tyler said, the best song they ever wrote, We Own the Night.
Yes.
God damn. My personal favorite DGD song, Stroke God Millionaire.
Which is also a fucking
So
incredible
Oh,
song.
my dude.
And the lyrics are so fucking dumb, and I love it.
Like
Let's talk about
fucking.
that. Let's talk about their lyrics because
So-
Oh, yeah.
I don't
John
wanna get-
Mess.
Yeah, John Mess's lyrics are fucking wild. Like, just batshit crazy nonsense.
Like
I'm sitting on a dildo pile. That's why my ass hurts.
a penis wide that towers high is coming on your feet.
In Stroke God Millionaire. What's the?
I'm awkward, I'm chipper, I'm random, dude. Like we all came here just to fap.
We all came here just to fap.
Are you trying to see my
a
sack or
fabulous
something
rape
like
in the
that?
taint?
Yeah, like
Rant, just fucking wild shit. That like
Wild
once
ass shit.
you figure out what he's saying, you're just like, should I be singing this? Like- and then Tillian just sings about completely other stuff.
Oh, that song just encapsulates everything I want out of a song.
Oh yeah.
Like just like the different variations in post-hardcore. And then of course like the chorus, catchy, fucking Tillian just completely reveals everything he's got. I love it. And then like even like kind of like the breakdown, like not an actual breakdown, but like breaks down like the beat of the song, like where it's just Will Swan. I'll get to him in a minute. But he just fucking shreds. He shreds. Like you hear like John Mess singing, but it's just like him fucking just like tapping and shit. And then all of a sudden the bass kicks into just this groove, and it's Tillian coming back at you. Like, let me in your pants, girl.
Damn.
Like all the basses do, it's just playing two different, like just two notes. It's just
Oh,
up
yeah.
and down, up and down, But it's just like
I'm saying like their
so
songs,
fucking magical, bro.
their songs just take you on fucking journeys. Like I remember the first time I showed Kyle. I remember the first time I showed you We Own the Night, and you were like talking to me, and it was just kind of playing in the background, and you were just like, "I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. This is like the third like time this song has just completely changed songs." Like yeah, they'll do that.
They'll do that.
I will literally never forget the first time I listened to that song. It was just so like, excuse me, what? Like the entire time, I was like, "Is this the same song?" Like,
Yeah, it's so good, and that's like the wonderful thing about DGD, which is why I love them more than any other band, is because they can just do all this crazy like genre bending stuff, and they manage to find a way to make all of this really weird, intricate like stuff just mesh together
into these like beautifully composed like experiences, and every song by them, at least in recent years, has just been these just mind-melting like experiences, one after the other. Man, it gets me going, dude. It gets me going.
Now, for those of you who don't know, like often Dance Gavin Dance, what they do is they'll start into something, either one way or the other, like flip-flopped, but they'll usually start in one like complete genre and switch it to like disco. Like it is just like the most fun, just random ass thing. Like they'll be just super heavy, there'll be screaming happening, and then all of a sudden it's just like, I don't even know what example to give. It's just like so disco and like,
yeah, they have this,
I don't even know.
They have this thing that I have trademarked as the disco sex jam, and they'll whip it out in most songs. You know, you'll be coming out of a breakdown, come out of the bridge, and then all of a sudden it's just like, you know, it's 1980 and we're having a night on the town. And
John Travolta
jam,
Saturday Night Fever is just tearing up the dance floor.
Tillian just fucking throws you in bed and has his way with you.
Yeah.
Like,
and Tillian just takes you over and you're like, I can't stop this, and I enjoy it.
And that's the wonderful thing about DGD, you know? No other band that I've ever listened to has been able to mix that many different things together and have it like work successfully time after time after time, and all their songs sound like so completely different. Like they're coming up with like licks and grooves that like I couldn't even perceive in my mind, and then somehow they're just cranking out these absolute masterpieces, like one after the next after the next. I'm like, how does Will Swan like come up with this shit? It's mind-blowing.
Now, Will Swan, I think, is the most underrated, slept-on guitarist ever. Like, what he does, like, and I absolutely hate, like, music critics and, like, awards and stuff. Like, I respect the Grammys, like, Snarky Puppy and all that shit. But, like, one time I saw... What's up?
I said thanks.
But, like, one time... All right, so, like, all these, like, magazines, like, Alternative Press or, like, you know, fucking Loudwire, like, insert fucking random thing here. Like, one time I remember they had, like, Guitarist of the Year, and they gave it to, like, the dude from A Day to Remember. And I'm like, bro, like, Instant Gratification just came out. Like, how is this dude even, like, comparable to Will Swan?
Right.
Like, my man's over here writing fucking masterpieces, coming out with albums of shit that, like, you can't even fathom. Like, it's so deep, it's so layered. Like, he'll, like, I mean, obviously, like, he's the straw that stirs the drink. And, like, obviously, he's writing everything. Like if you watch covers of it, you just see how, like, the guitars, like, just interact with one another. And you're like, God damn, like, he must have, like, such a mastery of the instrument to where he's able to just do all of that himself.
Right.
And, like Tyler said, the crazy, like, disco sex jams, like, all of a sudden, like, he's just fucking pulling that out. He's fucking, you see him over there, the guitar's basically up on his neck.
Oh, yeah, he has a baby strapped up super high if you ever see him play
And
live.
you just see, like, just his fingers, like, he's tapping, he's strumming, he's fucking fretting along, and you're like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck you're doing, but it sounds amazing.
That dude is a wizard on the guitar.
He is
mind-blowing.
He is so underrated and so slept on. Like, he deserves all the respect that he gets. Plus, they have, like, other, like, he has, like, other projects, like, but it's just churning out just fucking banger after banger after banger. It's like, dude, like, are you gonna run out?
Yeah, the dude's like a fucking prodigy. Like,
Yeah,
he's
like-
an absolute genius.
When's the well gonna run dry, bro? Like,
Right.
fuck. And then they have a whole fucking full length coming out soon. Holy shit.
Yeah. By the time this,
It'll be out.
by the time you're listening to this, it's probably been out for a while,
And it's fucking amazing.
It's probably amazing. I
It's
can't imagine that it
amazing.
won't be.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that shit slaps.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, Dance
like,
Gavin Dance.
they can do no wrong. They're just like an immaculate band.
Like, check them the fuck out, bro.
Yeah,
Absolutely, dude.
and even if you don't like John Mess's screaming, you'll get used to it.
He's a good
He's an
compliment.
acquired taste, and he is a very good compliment to everything going on.
He
Once
keeps
you, like-
everything, like, really grounded.
Yeah.
I feel.
Like I can't even like imagine what they would sound like without him.
Plus, like, John... What's up?
I just agreed. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
John Mess, like Tyler was saying, he has, like, the silliest fucking lyrics. But he actually is, like, an absolute poet, though. Like he'll drop, like, just the stupidest shit, but, like, it rhymes, it flows, it, like, gels along with the beat of the song. And you're like, dude, you're talking about dicks and fucking like, cats in the sky and shit. Like, but it totally sounds good. Like,
oh yeah.
Like if I had no idea what he was saying, I'd be like, wow, this motherfucker's spitting.
Yup.
It's just so fucking good, bro.
Oh man.
Dance Gavin Dance from the beginning, bro. They're so good.
I'm definitely more of like a new age Dance Gavin Dance fan because like I really dig Instant Gratification. Like I like it a lot and I come back to it all the time. But like from that point forward is what I predominantly listen to from them, and I love Tillian, everything in that band. I really love, and like music nerd moment, Tillian's voice. Okay, like I don't understand where his chest voice ends. Like, does he just have that good of a fucking mix voice? Like, what's happening? Because it just keeps going, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Even live, it's incredible. Like, why? How can someone get a voice like that? Give it to me. I want it. Please. It's so good. And, no, it's, I still remember the first time I listened to Mothership, and, like, I got to Young Robot, and I stopped, and I listened to it 8 times, and then I kept going.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
The day that Young Robot dropped, I went to bed late because I sat there and I legit listened to it like 5 or 6 times in a row because like the disco sex jam in that song is so legit.
Yeah.
I feel like borderline topical controversial statement here. It might be their best disco sex jam. And like there's a lot of really good ones. But I think Young Robots might be my favorite ever.
I can agree with that. It's not their best song, but it's their best disco sex jam for sure.
It's my favorite disco sex jam, but there are a lot of songs that I really enjoy otherwise. But yeah.
Process.
Dude. Plus that song opens with a fucking flute solo, and how can you go wrong?
Yeah,
with that, you know?
Dude, you can go on and on. Like I said, I'm amazed that Will Swan is able to just create so much material, and it seems like he's not running out. Like,
I know
he is yet to come out with like a truly like dry like song where it's like
My favorite part about like him at all is the fact that he's so chill when he's doing it too.
Oh yeah,
he's just like he's got the guitar real high up on his chest and he's just like going, he's just feeling it. He knows it. It's just like so second nature to him to just be playing the most ungodly riffs of all time. It's just like, oh yeah, no, it's whatever, just another day. It's fine.
He's just a master of his instrument, and he's able to come up with what I think is the best music out there.
Yeah, and that is why DGD is solidly at Kyle's number 3 and our number 1.
it's not even solid. I guess I should explain. Literally the only way that I can like discern DGD from my 2 and my 1 is that I've been listening to my 2 and my 1 longer, and thus have more connection to me personally. Like
that's fair.
Growing as a person, and like DG is incredible, and like my 1, 2, and 3 are very different vibes. Specifically, my 1 and 2 from my 3. But like, if I'm in the mood for one, dude, that's my shit. Or if I'm in the mood for the other ones, that's my shit. And like, I definitely suggest you check out DGD and Snarky Puppy because I like them both a lot.
Hell yeah,
hell to the yeah.
And we've been talking about Dance Gavin Dance for an extremely long time.
So long.
Because they're the best.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up so y'all can stop listening to our beautiful voices.
Yeah, you've had enough of us.
So this has been our top 10 bands / musical artists.
We made it.
Yeah, we made it. We did it, boys. This was a topic I've been looking forward to for a very long time, since the inception
top 10, bros,
of the fucking podcast. So I'm real glad that I got to go on this journey with y'all.
Oh yeah,
it was a fun time. If you all enjoyed this wonderful journey, please let us know by giving this video a little like. If you're watching the YouTube version, and go down into the comments below and let us know what your top 5 bands are. And yeah, if you want to see more content like this, check out the Talks a Lot Boys and subscribe to us. We do this show semi-frequently. We have a wide range of topics that vary in level of quality, and you're bound to find something you like. So, yeah, thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next time with a completely new topic. And we have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys.